Hi guys, so this is going to be maybe a bit controversial video. It's about the iTerracare wand. It's a response to a number of videos that have been put out within the Vax damaged community. There are many people raving about the wand in that community, and then there are some people who are saying they've had very bad experiences and they're sharing information that I believe needs a response. I did actually try to connect privately before I made this video, and I'll show you exactly what I said and what happened there. So one of the questions in particular that I'll be addressing is about the wand in regards to EMFs, because there are claims that it is giving off extremely high EMFs, which is not true. But anyway, there are those claims, and that problem, which it would be if it was as high as they were saying, is causing some people that are very sensitive to EMFs to have a bad reaction. So now the girl who's got a very large following, who's putting a lot of this information out, is this lady here, Sean, I don't know how even to pronounce that name, Videla, I don't know. But anyway, this lady here. Now, maybe I should shrink my picture a little bit. So this is a recent comment, and I'm going to sort of start at the end and go backwards. So she's just made a comment. Update: I've now been contacted by 5 others. This must stop. PSA: this is a public cease and desist to all iTerra representatives and Prive International. Do not contact me. Big capital letters. I'm a Prive International representative. So, in fact, I'm one of these 5, as you will see in a minute. She then says, I was just woke up to 3 phone calls by Ricky Brandino threatening me with attorneys due to me putting out misinformation about iTerra. First of all, dude, you are way out of your lane. I've never put out any information about iTerra. I've only shared my experience. What's happening, that these people literally will share your number with others to have you harassed. Okay, so that's not actually true what she's saying there. She has put out misinformation about iTerra. I did contact her to try to have a private discussion, not all public. I didn't want it to be public, but a private discussion, so maybe we could clear some of the things up. But anyway, so I'm one of the 5 that she's talking about that's harassing her, she's saying, and again, I will come to that in a minute. So what she's claiming is that she's just sharing her experience, and if that was all she was doing, that would be fine. But that's not what she's doing. She's sharing her experience and then making assumptions about that experience which are not true, and sharing her assumptions as if they were facts. And those assumptions are not true and are damaging and hurtful to many people. And not from a money point of view, which she keeps liking to say it's all about money. No, it's about helping people, and I think what you're saying, Sean, is not helping people. But I understand why. I don't believe that she's being dishonest, particularly, although some of the stuff she says isn't true. I don't think she's trying to be dishonest. But right here, you're going to see, it's probably too small to see, but this is on her page that she's posted, and I'm going to just go so you can see it more clearly. So this is a statement she's posted from her doctor, Pierre Corey, who, as far as doctors go, I've got a lot of respect for. I don't know him personally or know much about him other than that he's one of the frontline doctors and he's done a lot of good work. I'm not a fan of doctors, and I think any doctor who still has their licence is certainly having to agree and push things that I wouldn't agree with. Notwithstanding, he's done a lot of good work, as far as I know, my little I know about him. But anyway, he says this: long haulers and vax injured do not use this. You can't spell Prive or iTerracare, but anyway, he's trying to say Prive iTerracare or any EMF wand. So many have come to me with a major persistent worsening of systems. We, Dr. Pierre Corey, are finding many therapies that help. This ain't one of them. Please stick to the science. Okay, so I disagree with Dr. Corey here, and like I said, I don't want to attack him. I think he's, as far as doctors go, done a lot of good things for our movement, but he's out of his depth on this. He's not trained in this. He doesn't even know how to spell the company or the product. But I agree with him that he's probably seen patients that have got a worsening of symptoms, and there's reasons for that, and I'll come to that. But when he says stick to the science, he's got no science. He's not using it. What's the science he's using to say that this isn't helpful? He hasn't got any science. So I get a bit tired of this stick to the science claim, because a lot of the time it ain't science. So, but anyway, like I say, he's one of the frontline doctors, and he's done a lot of good. I don't want to attack him. I just think that he doesn't really know the subject very well, and he's basing his decision on, you know, some superficial things that he doesn't really understand. Is my opinion. Okay. So now, let me first of all, before I go any deeper, I'm going to show you my message to Sean in an attempt to have a respectful discussion and correct some of the things that she was saying. So I'll read what I said. Hopefully you can see it, but I know a lot of people are looking with phones and it's too small, so I'm going to read it. So I said, so I don't know her, but I sent her this message out of the blue. I said, hey Sean, I'm a private distributor and I've sold hundreds, and I do appreciate your attempt to be honest. However, I think there's quite a bit of unintentional misinformation in your videos, and I'm going to have to do a response. However, I'd prefer to have a chat with you first and make sure I don't misrepresent you, and maybe help to clarify a few things for you. I believe you totally when you say you're seeking to be honest, and I don't attribute you with anything negative. And if people are being hateful, I'm very sorry about that, but not surprised. So, if you're available for a respectful chat about this, that would be great. So that's what I said. I was trying to have, you know, a respectful discussion and maybe correct some of the things that she was, in my opinion, misinformed about. Her response was this: there is absolutely zero misinformation in any of my posts in regards to the wand. It didn't work for me. In fact, I'm very sick. What is wrong with you people? Why do you harass the ones that this product doesn't work for? I absolutely will not speak with you. I'm in fact going to report you. I'm also going to look into filing harassment charges at this point. Okay, so that's her response. So this is my first and only communication, an attempt at a communication with her, so I'm not really sure how I'm harassing her. You know, she's obviously dumping my comment, my very respectful, in my opinion, kind comment. Listen, she's a damaged woman. I understand that. She's a vulnerable woman. She's in a mess and all of those things. So I give her a lot of leeway for this overreaction to my comment. But at the same time, I believe she's doing quite a bit of damage. And so and that's why I wanted to talk to her. So she shows up publicly on her videos, beautiful. She says, I love you, all the people that are fighting me, and I just want the best for you. Then privately, this is how she responds. But like I say, I understand that she's messed up, and you know, so I'm not going to judge her too harshly for that. But I do have to respond to the misinformation. So first of all, I do have to agree that unfortunately, a lot of the information being given by people who are selling the wands, they're very excited because they've seen great results usually. In a comment she said Ricky Brandino had attacked her and threatened that he's had fantastic results with the wand. And but it's interesting, so because you know, she talks about being truthful. I am truthful, okay, and actually. I'm going to get into the EMF thing, but so she's claiming that these high EMFs are a problem, and that they're high first of all, and that they're a problem. Ricky Brandino, who attacked her, has also attacked me, and he attacked me because I made a video because he was claiming that the wand had no EMFs, which was blatantly untrue. I tried to correct Ricky privately. He wouldn't be corrected. So in the end, because he was putting this information out which was blatantly wrong, I made a video about his comment about EMFs and about another of his team was putting other misinformation out. So I did 2 videos, and as a consequence of that, and I knew this, I was going to come, you know, it was going to be not go down well. But anyway, I got threatened, and he threatened to get me terminated from the company and so on. Actually, I made my second video after the threat. Because I won't be threatened. I'm going to speak the truth, as I see it. Of course, I could always be wrong about something. I'm not claiming infallibility, but I'm going to speak the truth as I see it, because I'm not bothered if I've lost my income. I was prepared to do that, and I've got a very nice income from this. So last month I was number 5 in the world in terms of sales of this one. So, you know, I'm doing quite a bit, and I do like the income. But that's not my prime goal. My prime goal is to help people. So I was prepared to risk being terminated to speak the truth and correct error with Ricky Brandino and some other big leaders. So that was because of one of the points being that there was a claim that there was no EMFs. Now I've got a counterclaim that EMFs are super high, which is equally false as the no EMFs. But both claims are false. I'm actually just going to flick to a video that was done by one of the vaccinated people who had fantastic results and amazing recovery using the wand. Her name is Stacey. She made a video. I'm only going to show a clip of it. So she tests a whole pile of different hair dryers and different things for EMFs. They've all got about 200 to 400 EMFs, and then she gets to the wand, and she's at the base of the wand here because this is where the highest EMFs typically are found, where the lead comes in. Now, every electrical device has EMFs, okay, which is just the electromagnetic frequencies that come off it. You can't not have an electrical device that doesn't have EMFs. So anyway, so she tested a whole pile of things at this point of the video, and I can put this in the below in the description of the one that I'm making now. But at this point in the video, she moves to the wand, and I'm just going to show a little clip.
So it's reading about the same as the other household devices. So it's 196 around that. I haven't really seen anything spike up.
Okay, so this is actually a little less than most of the other devices at the end where you get the most. So let me go back over here. So there's many people who've tested the wands for EMFs, and they do have EMFs, but the EMFs from it are, first of all, comparable with your hairdryer and many other household appliances, your phone and other things. So one of the claims was that the wand was giving 600% more EMFs than a cell phone, which is ridiculous, and we just see a test there. Now, I can't say that there's not a broken wand somewhere, that there's something wrong with the electrical circuit that might be possible, that there is a wand doing that, but that's not what these wands give off. So they give off pretty low EMFs, comparable with other similar devices, but they also have a mitigating, because they give off scalar energy, that mitigates the EMFs as well. But there's another point. There's another point to the EMFs from the wand, because if somebody else is wanding you, there's no EMFs at all coming out of the end. Okay, so if someone else is wanding you, you're not being exposed to any EMFs at all. Or if you have it on a stand or something like that, and you're there having it come from the stand, again, there's no EMFs. If you're holding the device, and especially if you've got the cable going, then there's going to be a normal amount of EMFs that you would get from any other device, such as your hairdryer. So one of the points then was one of her friends, Angelia, I believe her name is, who came on the video, who's apparently, so she's both vaxxed and in a mess, and also EMF sensitive. So she, from what I understand from her story, from the bits that she gave, she didn't give full information, but it looks like she was told wrongly by someone, and this is the problem, there's a lot of bad advice being given by people who really don't know what they're doing, and telling people all sorts of wrong stuff. But she was told to really go, to her words, go hard at it, and she used the wand a lot, multiple times a day, and that is ridiculous. That is extremely bad advice for someone who's very, very toxic. And as a consequence of an absolute overuse, then she then had, some problems. She doesn't really go into the details of what happened, but she didn't feel very well. Let's say that. That's totally to be expected with someone who's very, very toxic. So a big part of the problem here is that they are following bad advice. They've got an amazing tool that's having amazing results. By their own admission, they admit that many people are having phenomenal results, vaccinated people included, okay, having fantastic results, but they're saying, but not everybody. And the reason I would say that not everybody is because many people are using it wrong, certainly for them. Everybody's slightly different, and some people can do 8 or 10 minutes a day without a problem. That's too much for some people. I have a client that does 4 seconds a day and is getting great results. Okay, so everybody's a little bit different, and the main problem, it seems to me, is not the wand, it's what they're doing with the wand. One of the things that they're doing wrong is that if they feel, so Sean felt better with the wand. Okay, she was saying, yeah, I'm getting great results, and then all of a sudden, after a period of feeling better, then she felt worse, and then said, this isn't working for me. What they're not understanding is when you are messed up, and if anyone's had any experience with autism as an example, the road from messed up to substantially better is not a straight line. It's a very bumpy road very often. One of the reasons, for example, that Sean may have had got great results and then dipped. So she started to get a bad reaction with her ear, she tells us. It started getting hot. So that was a signal that it was too much for her body. She needed to pause, but she didn't pause. She did more. Well, that's not good. That's not good. If she'd have had somebody that was correct to support her, then she wouldn't have done that. But she did it, and it got worse. And now she says it's not for her. No, Sean, you misused the wand. It was too much for you too fast. So one of the things that the wand does is it helps to flush the cells of toxins more effectively, which you want because the toxins are damaging the cells. But at the same time, when it does that, those toxins are going into your blood and you can have a reaction. And if you do that too fast, that can be problematic. So Sean, one of the things she said was that she'd got some neuropathic problems that came back, and she said that is not detox. This is the kind of thing where she's not sharing her experience, she's interpreting her experience, and that's where she goes wrong. If she just shared her experience, it wouldn't have been a problem, but she keeps on wrongly interpreting her experience. She interprets her friend's bad experience as high EMFs. Well, even if it was a high EMF one, let's say that there's some weird one that's kicking off high EMFs, and we don't know, you can't possibly know, Sean, that it was the EMFs. It could be a whole range of things why she got worse. It might not even be anything to do with the wand, or it might be. One of the things that the wand does, as I say, is it helps to flush toxins. That can be very bad for someone who's very toxic, which is why you have to go very slow. One of the things I do when I'm working with very toxic people is that I get them to do certain things so that as the toxins are flushed out of the cells, they're mopped up and neutralised so that they don't do the damage. So there's other steps that you need to do. And people that don't know and aren't trained in these things, they don't know that, they don't tell you that, and then you may be one that gets a bad reaction and then you blame the wand. And that's the problem, Sean. You're blaming the wand and you are telling people not to use the wand, for example, if they're EMF sensitive. And then those EMF sensitive people are sat there with Wi-Fi on a call, doing a Zoom with all this EMF in a car full of EMF to tell you not to use the wand because it's got EMFs. It doesn't make any sense. That's crazy. And your justification will be that this wand has a lot more EMFs. It doesn't. As I've just proven from that video, it doesn't have a lot more EMFs. It has low EMFs. Okay, so if you'd stuck with this was what happened to my friend, she used it for a long time and it was too much for her, and then for whatever reason, whether it was EMS, whether it was detox, whatever, we don't know, but this is what happened, fine. That would be fine, Sean, you're sharing your experience, but you're not sharing your experience. You're interpreting the experience and then you're advising people not to use the wand, which is a really bad thing because a lot of people are getting massive help if they're using it right. So what we need to do is educate people to use it right. Okay, we need them to be getting their wands through people that understand how to do that. Not just from their friend because their friend's got a good result, but don't really know what they're doing. Okay, so this claim of EMFs I've already shown to be false, and there's loads of videos that are out there of people testing the wand for EMFs and they're not high. They're the same or a bit lower than other stuff. So that's the first thing. The second thing that you said, on lots of things that you said, Sean, but you said that you tell people with implants not to use the wand because that's what Price says. That's not true, Sean. Price does not say that. Price says that having implants is contraindicated and that you need to not do the area of implants from the front or from the back. You avoid that area. But you're wrong to say you shouldn't use the wand if you have implants. Price doesn't say that. Nobody says that. You've just made that up. Or more to the point, you've interpreted it wrongly, and I'm sure you're telling the truth as you see it, but that is incorrect information, which I wanted to share with you privately so you could privately correct. But you wouldn't let me. In fact, you blocked me. So I couldn't, I've got no way of contacting you at all now. So that is not correct, that you can't use the one with implants. Many people are having great results that have implants, but they're told to avoid actually doing over the area of the implants. That's all. So the thing is, Sean, you're talking about an area that you don't have great understanding. You don't, with the greatest respect, anyone that's been recently vaccinated isn't the best person to go to for advice about health. In all honesty, I don't want to put you down and what have you, but that's the truth. This is new to you, clearly. Okay, so you shouldn't really be a spokesperson. You can share your experience, but stop interpreting it and telling people what they should and shouldn't do, and then pretending you're shocked that people involved with the wand are contacting you, and it's harassment. I didn't harass. That's not a harassment. What I've just said to you there, Sean. That's not. Now, if Ricky threatened you, if he did, fair enough. Ricky can be hot-headed, and you know okay. So I would agree with you on that one, but I haven't harassed you. I sent you a very nice, polite message, because I felt we're on the same side. We're trying to heal, and that's why I don't want to attack the doctor either, because we're on the same side. We're all trying to find ways to heal, and this wand is an amazing tool if it's used correctly. But what you are doing is you're wrongly interpreting data, and that's where it's become a problem. So I hope, Sean, that you reach out to me and unblock me and have a proper conversation. I don't want to attack you. I don't think you're a bad person, whatever. I think you're a person that's been damaged, and you're vulnerable, and you're sharing your heart as best as you can, but you are doing damage. And you talk about the split amongst the vaccinated, and I would say you're a big cause of that, because you're saying you're not just saying your experience, you're interpreting it wrongly, and you're telling people if they're vaccinated, you know, if they're EMF, if they have implants, and all these different groups of people, not to use the wand, even though you at the same time admit lots of people are having great results. So I feel I needed to put this video out. I really don't want to offend you, Sean, or Angelia, is it? Don't want to offend. I don't think you're bad people, but I do think that, as I said in the message to you, that you're unintentionally giving misinformation, and you know, we have to have discussions. And one of the problems with the people who took the injection is that a lot of the time that's because they were not open for discussions. Most of the people were being told, don't take it, don't hear it, but they were not open. And it seems you're continuing with that vein. When I try to have a respectful conversation with you about this, you shut down the conversation. You're not open to have a conversation, but you're very happy to share your view and put it out there, but you then won't, you're not open to correction. That maybe you've got something wrong, even when it's politely done. So I would put that on you, Sean, and just say, listen, let's have a conversation respectfully, because you are trying to heal and you want to help other people heal. And I'm the same. That's what I want. And we shouldn't be falling out over this. We're not going to necessarily always have to agree, but we should disagree respectfully, and not this, I'm looking to file harassment charges at me. For that's ridiculous. I wasn't harassing you. So you were offended that you were attacked by Ricky, but you've just done the same back to me for no reason. So let's not get into this attacking each other, and let's try and work together, because we are on the same side. We are. So I hope you take this in the spirit in which it was meant, you know, I really hope that that we can find tools and ways more and more to help. I've seen some phenomenal results with many people, but we've got a long way to go. None of us have got all the answers, and I haven't got all the answers. God bless everybody that's listened to this, and I really hope that we can unite and not divide and fall out, even if we end up disagreeing. Let's agree to disagree then, but let's not attack. Let's stop the attack. And please don't give advice on a product that you really don't understand, and you don't understand how to. And you've been given bad advice, Sean, about how to use it. You have, and I'm sorry for that. And your friend even more. I mean, that's shocking advice to go hard at it. That's absolutely terrible advice. And that's why I made videos before this one correcting the misinformation from the distributors, and why I got in trouble. But I was correcting some of that misinformation. I'm trying to be balanced and trying to bring, as the good doctor said, science to it as best as we can. But there's a lot of information we don't know, as you actually said yourself, Sean. Okay, that's me, over and out. God bless.